All right, guys. So the other day I was talking to this person about grain weights and bullets and whether you should weigh your bullets. And 1 gram. Perfect. Okay. That's what we want it to be. Now we're going to change this over to a unit of grains. And anyways, we were talking about whether you should weigh your bullets. And I was like, yes, you should definitely weigh your bullets because in the package, you're going to have different grain weights on each different bullet. So essentially, you should want them all to be 150 grain, right? But the idea is that no matter how much they try to like specify the manufacturing, it's always going to be off by a little bit. So even if you're only off by 1 grain, that shouldn't really mean a lot, but your overall consistency is going to be diminished the more off it is and the more inconsistent that grain weight is. And it really doesn't take very long to open up a package and kind of go through it and be like, okay, so what's the weight of each one of these bullets? Because once you've separated them out by weight, now you can actually come back and you can load out these different weights in specific, and you can see how inconsistent. Look at that, 154. That is a huge difference. And you can see how, 154. You can see how much different the ballistics is just based off of the overall weight coefficient. Now, earlier I did this. I've done this video like 3 fucking times now, because 151. Wow. Because people kept coming in and interrupting me while I was doing it. Man. So I keep grabbing different bullets. But to give you an idea, like, my scale cannot be so far off as to be that far off. Does that make sense? Now, that might be 148 over there, and the 151s might be 150. Keep dropping them. I'm trying to scooch around and grab random bullets here. There we go. Because I want to give you guys a good idea of the variance. You know, like how much variance is there really in a package. Wow. How consistent is Hornady in their weight? And you know, a lot of people be like, well, it doesn't matter that much, like it's not that big of a deal. It is that big of a deal. And honestly, you know, the difference between 150 and 151 might be so little, and my scale isn't perfect. It's really old. It's been beat to shit. But it weighs a gram at a gram, so I'm going to assume that it's weighing these bullets at what they are. And honestly, this isn't boding well. Come on. Nope, 151. So, if this is accurate, which, you know, if my scale's off by a grain, it might be. And I really should just buy a new scale to be sure. But to give you an idea, I'm going to stop this here. Because I don't see a reason to go any further. I think I've made my point. There's enough inconsistency in the overall grain weight that you need to weigh your bullets. You need to weigh your bullets, and you need to be sure that you're separating them out by grain weight. So that way you can know for sure exactly what you're shooting, how you're shooting it, and what that happens to be.